I am continuing my reading, and what I am doing in this series is to read through the entire standard works of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. This consists of the Bible, the Book of Mormon, the Doctrine and Covenants, and the Pearl of Great Price. I am reading in a chronological order of events, not according to publication or volume, so I will be skipping around a bit as I move along. Right now, I am in Exodus, and this is chapter 27. Tabernacle to contain an altar for burnt offerings, also a court surrounded by pillars, a light to burn always in the tabernacle of the congregation. And thou shalt make an altar of shittim wood, 5 cubits long and 5 cubits broad. The altar shall be 4 square, and the height thereof shall be 3 cubits. And thou shalt make the horns of it upon the 4 corners thereof. His horns shall be of the same, and thou shalt overlay it with brass. And thou shalt make his pans to receive his ashes, and his shovels, and his basins, and his flesh hooks, and his fire pans. All the vessels thereof thou shalt make of brass. And thou shalt make for it a grate of network of brass. And upon the net shalt thou make 4 brazen rings in the 4 corners thereof. And thou shalt put it under the compass of the altar beneath, that the net may be even to the midst of the altar. And thou shalt make staves for the altar, staves of shittim wood, and overlay them with brass. And the staves shall be put into the rings, and the staves shall be upon the 2 sides of the altar to bear it. Hollow with boards shalt thou make it, as it was shewed thee in the mount, or so shall they make it. Okay, 5 cubits by 5 cubits, about 7.5 feet by 7.5 feet. This is a pretty good sized altar. 3 cubits would be 4.5 feet high, and it is to be hollow, with a grate placed inside it. Or placed on the top of it, really. And this is where you'd have your burnt offerings. It was on the grate, so as they burn it, the ashes would fall through the grate, and it's hollow so that they don't land on the altar. They fall through, and they can be cleaned out. Also note, in the tabernacle itself, everything is overlaid with gold. Here, it's overlaid with brass. That is significant. The symbolism there. The holy place, the most holy, that's gold. Out here, this is only brass. It's not quite as holy. Anyways, verse 9. And thou shalt make the court of the tabernacle. For the south side southward there shall be hangings for the court of fine twined linen of 100 cubits long for one side. And the 20 pillars thereof, and their 20 sockets shall be of brass. The hooks of the pillars and their fillets shall be of silver. And likewise for the north side in length there shall be hangings of 100 cubits long, and his 20 pillars, and their 20 sockets of brass, and hooks of the pillars, and the fillets of silver. So now we have the tabernacle. Now we're getting the courtyard that surrounds the tabernacle. This is also done with fabric connected to a wooden frame. And you say this is 100. The tabernacle was 20 by 6. This is 100 long. That's 5 times the length of the tabernacle itself. Now I don't know. Yeah, it didn't say the width of it, but it's 5 times the length, so I'm assuming it's also 5 times the width, but we'll see. Verse 12. And for the breadth of the court on the west side shall be hangings of 50 cubits. 50, a bit more than 5 times, because 5 times would have been 30. So, and for the breadth of the court on the west side shall be hangings of 50 cubits, their pillars 10, and their sockets 10. And the breadth of the court on the east side, eastward, shall be 50 cubits. The hangings of one side of the gate shall be 15 cubits, their pillars 3, and their sockets 3. And on the other side shall be hangings of 15 cubits, their pillars 3, and their sockets 3. So what we have here, this is 15 and 15, this is 30. So that leaves 20 cubits for the gate, or the entryway into the courtyard of the tabernacle. This is a wide entryway, allowing for men and animals to get through fairly easily. Verse 16, and for the gate of the court shall be an hanging of 20 cubits of blue and purple and scarlet and fine twined linen, wrought with needlework, and their pillars shall be 4, and their sockets 4. All the pillars round about the court shall be filleted with silver. Their hooks shall be of silver, and their sockets of brass. The length of the court shall be 100 cubits, and the breadth 50 everywhere. And the height 5 cubits of fine twined linen, and their sockets of brass. All the vessels of the tabernacle, and all the service thereof, and all the pins thereof, and all the pins of the court shall be of brass. So we have both. We have brass, silver, and gold being used in different places. Verse 20, and thou shalt command the children of Israel that they bring thee pure oil, olive, beaten for the light, to cause the lamp to burn always. In the tabernacle of the congregation without the veil, which is before the testimony, Aaron and his sons shall order it from evening to morning before the Lord. It shall be a statute forever unto the generations on the behalf of the children of Israel. So we have this. They are going to light a torch or a lantern, some kind of light. So it doesn't really say what kind of light source, except that it has to be pure olive oil that is being burnt to light this light. Pure olive oil comes in other places as well. It's a symbol of Christ's atonement. He was in the Garden of Gethsemane, which was an olive garden. He took on the sins of the world and was pressed down. He gave a pure sacrifice. The olives have to be beaten or pressed to give a pure olive oil in a symbol of Christ's atonement. So I'm going to leave that one here, and I will see you in the next one.